And now we will start our show at New Bethel with Pastor Ely. We're going to be talking a little bit about Black History, being this is Black History Month. I've always felt welcome here. You know, whenever I come out, I'm very welcome. And I'm enjoying being here today and just want to talk to them a little bit. Well, hey, Pastor Ely, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing
Good.
today?
Thanks for having us out to your church. I really appreciate that. And nice for you to be inviting us in for. We're trying to focus on Black History Month.
Okay.
And February Black History Month, we're kind of doing a show on that. Just want to get your perspective on some things and talk to you about this church. And I know New Bethel Church been here a long, long time.
Yes, it has. It's been here since the 1800s, 1864.
A little bit about yourself, Pastor.
Okay.
How long you been pastor, and where'd you come from here in Rose?
Sure. I've been here in Roseville for 5 years now.
Mm-hmm. That's a long time.
Time
flies, don't it?
Yes,
it does.
Yes, it really does. I started the year of the pandemic, so 2020. I started. I got here in January, and in March we were out for pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably pastored for about 2.5 years online. So I think I became an online pastor before I became an in-house pastor.
That was different, wasn't it? That you've probably never done that before, or that style. That was a big difference, wasn't it?
It was very challenging. First of all, just trying to pull things together to be online. So yes, it was very challenging.
Had you completely recovered from that?
I think we're about 80%.
80%?
I think we're about 80%.
It's amazing how it keeps, it got to a point where I don't know if you ever come back exactly to the whole thing, do you?
I don't think so. I think part of it now, most churches have to look at being a hybrid model where you have a online portion and then an in-house portion. Mm-hmm. So you will have members that will view online. Those that are sick and shut in, they can view online. So that is a good byproduct of the pandemic. You are able to reach some of those that may not can make it in the building anymore.
Right. I know we've talked about this a little bit. The population is changing, the youth and the young people and all. Are you seeing them harder to get them involved in coming?
It is a little bit more challenging to get the younger population in, especially those between the age of like 18 to 35. So that is a challenge for us, and that's one of the things that we're working on as well.
A little bit about Roseville. You said 18 what?
1864.
1864.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time. I imagine if you think about history, especially Black history community, I imagine New Bethel has been a big contributor to that history, a big part of that history, a big significance in that history. How would you describe New Bethel with the history of the community here?
If I just had to use my own imagination to look back during that time of 1864, and then as the church grew into a African American church, I believe in 1867, I believe you can imagine this church as a centerpiece for the Black family and for the Black community, a centerpiece where spiritual leadership was one of the focus, a safe place to discuss ideas and make decisions, and just a place for people to come together as a social hub and for the Black community. So I definitely can see how this was just such an important time for them.
I think the history of Roseville, it is a farming, agricultural community. Was that sort of way the church was? Was it mostly just farming and people living out on farms? So what was the population back then? Do you know?
I would imagine it was pretty much agriculture and pretty rural. And as you can see now, we're starting to get more businesses to come in. So yeah, back then I'm quite sure it was very rural population. Those that maybe worked in the fields and
Right.
and you know, maybe even doing some sharecropping at some point.
Right. So you describe, the church as a spiritual place to come, but you almost describe it as also sort of, you said the centerpiece, I think. I think that was the term you used, a centerpiece. So it was more than just a spiritual place to come. It was like the place to come. Is that kind of what you saw?
That's the way I've seen African American churches, and I'm quite sure New Bethel was a part of that back then. And even today, we still have social gatherings and events for the community. So I don't think it has changed that much in terms of being one of the centerpieces for African American families.
Right. And I think you mentioned it was like a seed church. It started, kind of a branched off from another church. And
Yes.
sort of like some people call it a seed church or branch church or something like that. And I think like over in Jonesville, you've been over in Jonesville community.
It's been a while, but yeah.
They have several churches over there, but I think talking to them, theirs was more like a family churches. You had different families that had churches. I think New Bethel was more like a community church, was it not? It was like a lot of families. It was the church for the community. Is that kind of way you recall?
That is true. It's still a heavy family church, but it is still I classify it still as a community church. We like to reach out to the community and partner with other churches and organizations. One of the things that New Bethel stands out in the community for is having a food pantry that can help those food and security places and those families that are going through that.
Yeah, I know I participated in that some, probably more.
Yes.
I need to do more of it for sure. But yeah, it's sort of like providing a service to the community, I think, and being part of the community. You guys do a really good job of that. But also, I think I've been to some of your anniversary type, events and stuff. So it looks like you appreciate and celebrate the history.
Yes.
And that's pretty important.
Yes. We have to hold on to the history. We have to tell the story, because if we don't tell the story, we'll lose the history, even though it may be written. But it's still good to share that history through those types of services that we won't forget where we came from.
So when you think of Black History Month and stuff, what do you think about that? Do you think that's the same thing? You sharing the story, you trying to keep the story alive? Is that the way you vision this time of year?
Yes, Black History Month it's a great time to investigate all of the contributions that African Americans have made throughout the country, throughout the world. And it's a lot of the history is still have not been unbirthed, I should say unearthed. Right. Because each day we find out more history and the contributions that we've made as a people. So to be connected to the church, I think that's a powerful thing. With a lot of those folks have come out of the church. So yeah.
I know you have your anniversary events for the church. Do you do other events? Is there other events that you do to get the community involved in things, and maybe not particularly history, but maybe some historical events, anything like that?
Yeah, we do. It's not necessarily historical events, but we will open up for events such as our anniversary, church anniversary, where we will invite the community in for cookout and fellowship time on a Saturday. And I think you've even been to some of those.
They're great. A lot of good food.
A lot of good food, a lot of fun, and just getting the opportunity to share with those in the community and make partnerships, like with the police department and the fire department and other government officials. So we do enjoy doing things like that.
Yeah. So So when you talk to new people, I imagine you talk to new people all the time. Do they ask about history? Are they inquisitive, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Do they want it? Is that something that you see them looking for sometimes?
In terms of Black history, or just
Overall history.
overall history? Yeah, one of the things we do, we try to highlight Black history, of course, not just on Black History Month, but
right.
It's all the time.
It's year long.
It's year long. So it's not just one month out of the year.
That's right. And I think that's a good way. That's a good way to be. So what is it in the community that you look for that some way that you could connect better, or the church can connect better, or the community can connect better to you during this time of Black history? Is it something that that you have seen in the past that's really works, or it really helpful, anything like that?
I think the main thing is during this time, for those that would like to experience the Black church experience, make it intentional for them to come through. Our doors are always open all the time. And so I guess during this time, it would be a great time for us to connect more with the community and those that might be outside of the culture, to share our experiences, and maybe they can even learn and glean from our past.
And I guess sounds like you're saying this is an invitation time. Is that the
always,
word? Is that the word
yes.
you're looking for? Invitation
Yes.
time. It's a time to invite people, Black
it's
people in.
great.
And I know it's open to all people.
Yes,
So
all the time.
It's open to all people. It's not just one,
Right.
Black people. It's
No.
everybody is welcome,
Everybody's welcome.
and they feel that way. I know I've been many times, and everybody feels welcome and everything like that. So it's a great job. How many people is in your church?
On an average Sunday, we're seeing anywhere from 100 to 125.
That's a good number.
It's a good number. We're like I said, we're about 80% back.
As a pastor, you always would like better, right?
Yeah, always.
Always like better. I know one pastor told me one time, the more people come, the better his lunch that they taste. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but I've heard that, because it does make you feel good that you're doing good work and stuff.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
And I know you mentioned the work you do with the food pantry and stuff, but New Bethel has always, in my my experience in the last 20-some years, they've always been really connected to the community, really concerned about the community, really doing things for the community, other than just being here on Sunday.
Sure.
You still do your youth programs and after-school programs, or have a place for youth to come? Do you do things like that? What all do you do other than Sunday?
Okay. Yeah. At this time, those programs are not active, but that is one of the things that we hope to get back for the future. I envision the future being an opportunity for the church to be another resource for those that may be involved in technology. I would love to see the opportunity for us to have some type of STEM program to help all children to bridge that digital divide, and because with the growth of AI and machine learning, we have to change our mindset. The church must take a holistic approach to the community, not just spiritually and just not food, but also skills to allow our community to be able to stay relevant with the times.
Yeah, I think I've heard somebody say in the past, maybe missionary, is kind of a theme or something like that. You got to reach the people first.
That's right.
With their needs, what they need first, and then you can talk to them about the grace of God.
Yes.
So you guys do a really good job with that.
Well, thank you.
You really do, and you're great for the community and things you all do for the community. Anything you want to leave the community with before we break up today?
Well, I just want to let the community know that we're here. We want to develop partnerships with organizations,
Mhm.
businesses. We want to be a community church, and if there's some things that we can do that that we're not aware of, we would love to have someone to let us know, and maybe we can get someone to partner beside us when it comes to the STEM programs and help fill some gaps in the Roseville area when it comes to that.
Well, you guys are great for the community and good having you.
Awesome.
Really
Awesome.
great. And appreciate your time. So thanks very much.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.